What if one day, without warning, everything you loved was taken from you? Your children gone, your home destroyed, your wealth stolen or burned to ashes, your health shattered. What if the very people who were meant to comfort you told you it was your fault? And what if God himself was silent? Would you still trust God? There once lived a man named Job in the land of Uz. He was blameless and upright, a man who feared God and stayed away from evil. Job was wealthy and respected, with 7 sons, 3 daughters, and many servants. He owned thousands of animals, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 oxen, and 500 donkeys. He was considered the greatest man among all the people of the East. One day, the angels came to present themselves before God, and Satan also came with them. "Where have you come from?" asked the Lord. Satan answered,
"From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it."
God continued, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him, blameless and upright, fearing God and shunning evil." Satan replied,
"Does Job fear God for nothing? You've put a hedge around him and blessed him. But stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face."
God said, "Very well, everything he has is in your power, but do not lay a finger on the man himself." One ordinary day, Job was at home when messengers began to arrive, one after another, each bearing more horrifying news than the last. The first messenger came running, breathless and terrified. He said,
"The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby when Sabeans attacked and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you."
Before the first servant even finished speaking, a second burst through the door with even more shocking news.
"The fire of God fell from the heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you."
Again, as the second messenger finished, a third ran in with more grim news.
"The Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties, swept down on your camels, and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you."
While the third messenger was still speaking, a fourth rushed in with grief and horror. He said,
"Your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the home of their oldest brother, when suddenly a mighty wind came from across the desert. It struck the 4 corners of the house, and it collapsed on them, and they are dead. I am the only one who has escaped to tell you."
In a matter of moments, Job's world was stripped bare, his wealth destroyed, his household shattered, and his beloved children lost. Job stood up, tore his robe in mourning, and shaved his head as a sign of grief. But instead of cursing God, he fell to the ground in worship, saying, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. Sometime after, again, Satan appeared before God. Just as before, God initiated the conversation with Satan. "Where have you come from?" And Satan answered in the same way.
"From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it."
Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him, blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil, and he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason." But Satan was not done. He responded with a cold and cynical challenge.
"Skin for skin. A man will give all he has for his own life. But now stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face."
God said, "Very well. He is in your hands, but spare his life." And so Satan went out from the presence of the Lord.